Ela quer vir pra minhas áreas de novo, só que me liga mais de 11 da noite. Acho melhor não ter, isso se repete tipo um ciclo vicioso. Ela quer vir pra minhas áreas de novo, só que me liga mais de 11 da noite. Acho melhor não ter, isso se repete tipo um ciclo vicioso. Pior que ela ganha.
Hi guys, happy Sunday, and it's self-care Sunday. I believe that once you have a Sunday off, you're supposed to provide yourself with some self-care. And now I may have the privilege of having more time on my hands because I do have a lot of responsibilities, I don't have kids. But however, I feel like if it's in 1 hour on a Sunday, that's supposed to be a you time kind of a vibe, right? So on Sundays, I make my coffee and I make it extra special than any other time during the week, right? It can't be the same old coffee, oat milk, sugar. No, you need to jazz it up on a Sunday. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So in addition to coffee today, we're going to be making ourselves a breakfast sandwich and we're going to do it together, right? Now, I know I can Uber Eats myself a breakfast sandwich, but to be honest with you, sandwiches here are quite monotonous. It's like all of them taste the same and none of them don't taste real. And I promise you, if you make a sandwich, it's going to taste much better because of the effort that you make into making it special, right? Okay, now, another backstory. I have been having a love-hate relationship with bread. Not that I am gluten sensitive or I have an allergy, I just hate sliced bread. I don't care if it's multigrain, I don't care if it's the grain from the time of Jesus, I just don't like sliced bread. So I have been trying out a few little different kind of breads and I might even start making my own bread. I'm gonna try. But I went on Whole Foods and I found some sourdough bread. I have never had sourdough bread before. And yes, I buy this big old bread, suppose me not like it, right? But I'm not going to be using the sourdough bread today because I want to make a different style of sandwich. I think I'm going to be using the ciabatta pronunciation, spelling. Somebody can correct me if they want to. So I'm going to be making a sandwich out of ciabatta bread today. And so I've had ciabatta, I like it. So let's see how this goes, right? Fun fact, I just moved to Connecticut just about a month ago. A little over a month actually. And I still only have 2 pots. So I have a frying pan and I have a saucepan and that's all I cook in. Must soon get more pots. Anyways, here I have 3 slices of bacon and I'm just getting them brown. Here's another thing, if you're making bacon, you don't need to put oil in the pot. Bacon is legit oil, okay? It's flavored oil, pork flavored oil. Oh, and on that tangent, if it's turkey, if it's beef, it's not bacon. Bacon is a noun and not a verb. Bacon is pork, noun. The act of cutting thin slices of bacon, of turkey and calling it bacon is not bacon. Okay? Debate your ancestors. Alright, so I have my bacon here and it's browning nicely. I don't necessarily need it to be crisp, I just need it to be brown. And then we're going to move on to our bread, right? So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the bacon from the pan because I am going to be toasting the bread and I'm going to be using the bacon fat to toast the bread. It's going to be so flavorful and in that way I don't even need to add any butter to the bread, right? Cool. So I'll turn the stove down now. We have a good amount of bacon fat there. What I'm going to do now is just to cut a sandwich size portion of this ciabatta bread. And it really cuts nice. I love this for me. I'm gonna put this away. And then what I'm gonna do is just to cut the bread on the horizontal plane to get 2 slices, right? It looks like a lot, but trust me, the doll can eat. So, I'm just gonna cut through the ciabatta bread here. And I'm telling you, them crusty bread here is so much better than sliced bread. I kid you not. I love them. So I cut through And I have 2 slices, and what I'm going to be doing now is placing them in the same pan. I just fried the bacon in so it can take the flavor of the bacon and toast as well, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So while the bread is toasting in our frying pan, because the dal don't have a toaster, plus as I told you guys, I wanted the bread to toast in the bacon fat because that's just going to add more flavor to this sandwich. I am going to be cutting up some brie cheese. Now brie, I don't know what make it, don't ask me. It's a soft white cheese. It's very soft and it has like a crust on it. But look at the price. It's $10.79 for this little slice of cheese, right? So, my Jamaican friends, when Easter time come and you have to pay that money for the tasty, always remember that cheese is a luxury. Good cheese is a luxury and it's expensive. $10.79. But it's self-care Sunday and good girls deserve good things. So we're going to make our brie sandwich with bacon as we saw before, and I'm also going to be adding some apricot raspberry preserves to this sandwich. It's a combination of sweet and savory. I do it at brunch all the time, and since we're not going out for brunch, we're going to make our own brunch sandwich at home and it's gonna taste good, right? So now that we have our bread toasted in bacon fat, we are going to be assembling our sandwich, right? So I'm going to take some of the apricot raspberry preserves. I'm going to coat the bread. This is the element of sweet. Now here's the thing. Because I toasted the bread in bacon fat, I cannot put the same knife back into this jar of preserves. I'm just realizing, because I don't want to transfer any germs. So I'm going to have one knife specifically for the spooning of the preserves and the other knife to spread it on the bread, right? So basically what I'm going to do is just scoop it off with my finger and scoop it off with my finger. I would never lie to you guys. I'm very particular on making sure that I don't spread germs. And I can't throw away this whole jar. Oh, there we go with the germ spreading. So now I'm going to have to wash the lid. I'll just leave it over here until I'm done making the sandwich. I'll do that off camera. So I'm just gonna apply all of this good raspberry jam to this toasted bread, and may I tell you, listen, the smell of the pork bacon, the bacon grease on this bread and the jam, I know this is gonna be something delicious. Alright, so now we have the preserves or jam or whatever all spread onto the bread, and so now I'm going to be adding some of that brie cheese, right? And you can see how soft it is. And just like I did with the jam, we're not trying to contaminate the whole slice of $10 cheese. So I'm cutting off individual bits and I'm just using my finger to push it off onto the bread. I think one more little slice and we're good. Yeah, so there we have it. It's a very soft cheese, guys, very soft. Good stuff. So we're done with the brie and I'm just gonna spread it out a little. I'm not going to smush it down on the bread now because I'm going to put it in the air fryer for a minute just to get the cheese to melt some more. And plus, I don't want to break the integrity of the bread either. So, there it is. We have the brie on the bread. And now we're going to add our bacon. Bacon make everything better, I swear. So here we have the bacon on it. I'm just going to flip this side of the bread over. So we have a complete sandwich. Then I'm going to put this thing in the air fryer for 1 minute just to get that brie to melt a little bit more. And I'm going to come back and tell you guys how it tastes. As a matter of fact, we're going to all taste it together, right? Because me can't be telling you these things and then be like, oh, it was so good off camera. No, you're not going to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly on camera. Alright, so we just finished with the sandwich in the air fryer, but before I take the sandwich out, I wanted to show you guys my Sunday coffee. So, backstory. A couple years ago, I found out I was lactose intolerant, and I have been in denial even though I know that me and lactose were not friends. But I didn't like almond milk, and I don't like soy milk either. So I was like, is there ever going to be a happy medium for something that I can actually enjoy with my coffee? And to be honest with you, I've only converted to drinking coffee in like a year, but I love it. It gives me the energy I need. And on a Sunday, I made it a part of my self-care routine to always make myself my perfect cup. So today we're going to do just that, right? But also, surprisingly, we're going to be adding some oat milk pumpkin spice oat that I found on Whole Foods to my coffee as well. Something new, something different. My mantra is always try something new. As long as it's not going to cause you any harm or an allergy, try something new, right? So here I'm going to be using my Nescafe coffee, and I really like this French roast, the taster's choice. Oh my god, it is darker than the normal Nescafe, but it's so much richer, and the smell, it's amazing. It is amazing, right? So we have our coffee here. I have my kettle. Just gonna pour it in about probably a halfway full, so a little bit more than a half. But let me tell you, the aroma, oh my god, it is amazing. It is amazing. I can definitely tell why people have found comfort in coffee, because it legit is amazing. Alright, so we have our coffee here. I have my oat milk creamer from Planet Oat. This one is the limited edition gingerbread flavored one, and I like it because it has that little spice of ginger. It does add to it. It does. It really does. So I add about a tablespoon of this creamer in it, and now I am going to be trying this pumpkin spice oat milk as well. Let's see. I haven't even tried it by itself to make sure it tastes good, but I'm going to dunk it into my coffee and it better taste good. Alright, so hold on 1 second. I didn't shake it up. Let's get all that goodness incorporated. Yeah. And then, oh, clumsy much. We're going to be adding probably about 2 tablespoons to the coffee. There you go. Alright. I made a bit of a spill, but whatever. Alright, let's see what we have going on here. Oh my goodness, that is so good. This is so good. Like, you can legit try this. So it's a pumpkin spice oat milk from Califia Farms and some Planet Oat ginger. Listen, this is a whole explosion of flavors. Now, backstory. Remember I was telling you guys just a minute ago that I'm in denial about my lactose intolerance? I'm going to be adding some whipped cream, and not the lactose free kind. I love whipped cream in my coffee. When you're doing self-care Sunday, you have to do these little special things. Makes it all the more better. So, add some whipped cream, not a lot. Still trying to be cautious. And there you have it. This is what it looks like. So, now it's time for the taste test, right? Alright guys, so taste test time. Because we're not going to rely on the food that we spend all our hard time on making, right? So here I have my sandwich. And just to remind you, it's ciabatta bread, toasted in bacon fat, with brie cheese, some apricot preserves, and the bacon. Put it in the air fryer after, just so it could melt the cheese a little bit. The bread, still crispy. Here they. See what me talk about? Them bread are nice. Sliced bread would never give you this. So let's try it and see if it's any good. Guys, let me tell you something. Me, I am a chef. This is so good, so different, so tasty. The crunchiness of the bread with the softness of the brie inside, contrast. The savory saltness of the bacon with the sweetness of the apricot preserves, contrast. It's like a whole party in your mouth. It don't get better than a sandwich like this. Listen, a sandwich you're shot. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 This is the bomb. And now for our coffee. Right, I did sample it, but let's get a good mouthful and see what we're working with. Coffee is legit like love in a cup. And depending on what you add to it, it's like you're getting a whole orgy in your mouth. That is. This is some amazing stuff. Me, I'm no self-proclaimed chef. I'm just here trying to, first of all, big secret, right? I'm doing all of this because I'm trying to save some money, and brunch would be $50 and this sandwich cost me less than probably $8 to make. So there you have that. Secondly, brunch not giving you this quality of a sandwich. You making it make it the best sandwich ever. Thirdly, you get to choose how you make your own coffee. Life not get no much better than this. I got to enjoy my sandwich and my coffee. I hope you guys have a great Sunday morning. Play your music, do your house cleaning, have some time with your relatives, go to church or whichever denomination you choose to celebrate at, or worship at Jesus. Spending time with your loved ones or just chilling before you go back to work tomorrow. I hope you have a good Sunday and join me later because I am going to be cooking dinner. So stay tuned for that.